What is with South Indians and starting freaking sandwich shops?
Is that a thing?
He was a bacon puglu, so he kept saying we should have something with bacon. We have something with bacon.
And guess what? It's our best seller.
How did you guys do the bread?
Bread. So we were conscious on working with breads which are delivery friendly.
Yeah.
There's an option for everybody who wants a certain type of protein or certain type of bread.
Like, did it really take an MBA to start a sandwich shop? Like, what was that about?
When nobody knew Lexi's existed, Masters Union gave us our first.
What are the craziest like screw up stories that you guys have had at Lexi's?
The chef actually rejected us because we only do sandwiches. He's like, why can't you do pizza, burger, pasta? Like, सिर्फ sandwich करेंगे.
What is he doing here?
Fuck.
What is this game, bro?
Guys,
What are you doing at Lexi's, bro?
guys, the
Why is he
last...
holding a Lexi sandwich? What happened to cactus lily?
I'm one of the two people holding a Lexi sandwich today. But anyway, I'm Amit and I've burnt my fingers doing sandwiches, right? And today we're going to talk to you guys. And it's not just a podcast, it's a freaking therapy session, right? So let's get started. Who are you guys and what do you do?
Sweet. I'm Alex. I'm the circus monkey at Lexi's, and I do everything product. Yeah, the food. That's what I do.
I'm Ria, and I head marketing, everything, brand, design, all the creative stuff you see here is me.
Hi, I'm Ayush. I take care of operations, supply chain for the business.
All the boring stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, he makes what we want happen.
Shit. What is with South Indians and starting freaking sandwich shops?
Yeah.
Is that a thing?
Where are you from?
Pondi.
Where are you from?
Pondi.
Where are you from? Chennai.
Oh,
It makes sense.
I didn't know that.
So yeah, a bit.
There are a lot of other people making sandwich shops.
Yeah, but I'm talking about like of great significance. I'm not referring to Lexi's, but in
Yeah.
general.
I think it's just our matter of taste.
So how did this whole idea of Lexi start out? I know you guys were all in MU together and all of you, I think you guys grew up together as well.
Yeah. So Lexi started out of our hostel kitchen while we were studying our MBA Masters Union. Right. Part of the program there is that you've got to build a business while you're studying. And towards the end of our study, we thought, okay, one thing all of us are good at is food, because I used to work for a junk food chain in Amsterdam and they run a bar in Pondicherry. So we thought, okay, that's something we're good at, food. Let's burn our fingers there.
And it somehow went off really well.
Absolutely. So yeah.
That's freaking amazing. Like, did it really take an MBA to start a sandwich shop? Like, what was that about?
I wouldn't say any MBA, but it helped that we did go to Masters Union. Like you said, we're South Indians. This is not home based. So
Not at all.
they sort of gave us that level platform to compete with other brands who are doing great sandwiches.
Yeah.
So,
And Masters Union, like I've noticed it especially because I started staying in Gurgaon. The number of like really cool people coming out of MU, it's insane, right? Normally people think of it as like a pyramid scheme, but you guys have like done, like it's been insane, right? The sort of crowd that comes out of there. The talent is insane.
Absolutely. I think it's one of those places where if you have the intent to build something, they will be there religiously backing you, ensuring that no matter what you do, will thrive. And
when nobody knew Lexi's existed, Masters Union gave us our first order, gave us our first grant, it gave us our first. We did a lot of food trials with our.
This was the first community. In fact, like the first 6 months before we went live, we did a lot of paid customer trials, and we only launched it to the MU community. And that was which gave us the initial
That's insane.
product feedback.
I've heard like the students literally used to order from you guys on the regular first just to support, and then because they actually freaking love the product.
absolutely.
That's quite special, dude. But how long has it been now? What we're going on? We finished the first year.
Yeah.
We finished the first year. I remember we finished the first year, and we've done 1 CR.
Great. Yeah. So
Everyone remembers that.
So that was back then when that video came out. Now we've done far more than CR, touch wood. And so it's been a year and a half since we started Lexi's. But before we started Lexi's, it started out purely as a fun project, figuring out if sandwiches would even work in the first place. Back then, Cactus Lily was among the 2 sandwich stores.
I was gonna say
Beats,
the-
Beats
the-
and
Beats.
Cactus.
The only.
Oh,
We all started after us or before?
No, these guys
These
were before
were
us.
us.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
remember that reel of theirs going viral.
Yeah.
Just as
We were actually like in the
and we were like, okay,
conceiving
this is
phase
great,
of,
so there is a
Lexi's.
market for sandwich.
Yeah.
You guys, like, we definitely looked
we got
up to it.
validation like okay
No, but-
sandwiches someone's doing so
Guys, stop! I'm blushing. Stop. Yeah, but no, I remember like even now, like with whatever you guys do, like it's so branding heavy, but you guys are just like a young, fun, cool brand, right? Which is why I think most people like resonate with y'all as well. And now being with Kona, right? Again, another rivalry, like a heated freaking rivalry, but it's cool, right? And I think that's why we're here today, because it's important to tell these stories. But let's talk a little bit more about your childhoods, right? You all grew up together and came from Pondicherry,
Correct.
but what was school like with these two?
Right. So Ayush used to be the buffet bully. So I've known them for a while, right? Our parents go a long way. And
he was
so on.
way tinier then now he's
What was this yesterday?
My earliest memory of Ayush would be at a Rotary meeting. He would be standing by the buffet, and little Alex would be running to get like ice cream or something, and he'd stand there like he's the guardian of the buffet, not letting
just
you
to
come
clarify this was after he's had his third helping of ice cream.
He says it's because he was looking out for my health. Like, yeah, why not? So it was fun, right? You grow up in a small town like Pondicherry, and I went to school together and then college briefly. So we all grew up in a nice community there.
Yeah, we didn't
Yeah.
have fancy malls. We just go to each other's
Yeah.
houses. And, you know,
Pondi is like a very small
Very
place, right? Like
very small.
we like someone from Chennai, you know that okay, Chennai is like this mad city. Subjectively, because the north is way more mad, but when you
Yeah.
it's Chennai for me, then comes Mahabalipuram, then comes Pondicherry. So this is Mahabalipuram is Moonrakers, seafood,
Yeah.
crazy
Yeah.
beers, lovely vibe, and then Pondi, which is a completely different vibe. But the sort of influx of tourism in Pondi, I don't know.
I mean, it's good for business.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
good for
yes,
business, but on these long weekends, we like get the fuck up.
Like, we are locals, like we are not allowed to like get into our own neighborhoods
Yeah.
because of
New Year's
that.
and Christmas.
But
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
they run a bar in Pondi, so for
Yeah.
them, that's definitely a
Yeah, I would
Good.
never say that.
Yeah, it's a good problem to have, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
annoying, but it's good for business. And we also have Airbnb, so people come to stay. We get them drunk.
And it just feeds the whole engine. Yeah.
People come from like foodie families. I know his mom is a really good cook. My mom is also like that's where it sort of the bar also was a cloud kitchen before a bar, and we would just go during COVID. So we would sell my mom's food. Like we would just market it, make
Yeah.
posters and sell it, and she was like the lady behind it. So I think that's where food sort of comes in for us.
That's crazy. But when the whole decision of like coming to the north, now you were in Amsterdam, and where were the two of you? Were you back home or in Bangalore?
We were actually
No.
all back home.
You were all back home during
In
COVID.
COVID, we were all back home, but before that, I was working with Marriott Hotels. She was in Portugal. I was
Yeah, we were at
Different places,
doing
and then-
different things. And then COVID sort of
brought us all back home. That's when we actually even reconnected, and Melvis was also born, and we would hang out a lot there. And Alex used to host game nights there.
yeah.
Yeah, thanks for
We
clarifying.
would get more drunk than the guests.
At some point, I'm sure at least 1% of their revenue came from.
So you went to hospitality school.
Yes, all of
And
us did.
all of you.
All three of us.
So you went to Manipal?
Manipal, Vakshar.
I think maybe we'll just quickly give a run through on what. Yeah.
So because what I've heard is, so we have our front of house manager Rangoli with Kona. I think you
know
guys,
her,
yeah,
yeah.
you know her.
I walked into Kona, I'm like, hey, you look familiar. She's from Vakshar as well.
Yeah, she told me so much about you, and then it was insane. She was like, he's a prick, but anyway.
I don't disagree with that.
No, he was sweetheart. Yeah, but then how did you guys take this decision to like say, okay, we'll all go to Masters Union now?
Right.
I think I was keen on getting out of Pondy. I mean, career-wise, we were doing well, we were running a bar, but I wanted to get out. I lived in Portugal, I lived in Bangalore, and I wanted to be in a big city again.
Yeah.
I was looking for options everywhere, Canada, Australia, but then there was a second wave, the third
Yeah.
wave of COVID. And then I saw an ad for Masters Union, and I was like, okay, wow, startup school, that's what I want to do. I didn't want to do any other masters. And then I got in, and I sort of told them about it. I convinced Ayush, I was like, how long are you going to be in this? Like, obviously, the bar was doing really well, and it didn't make sense for both of us to leave, but then I had to convince him. And I told him about it, and
Yeah. So I had actually come back to India for a sabbatical. My goal was to go back to the Netherlands. I had 2 MSCs admissions lined up so I can just go back. But then during my sabbatical, like heard from Ryu, and then I was thinking, okay, you know what, 5,000 rupees application fee. Worst case, I'll get in, and then I can figure it out. So I applied to Masters Union. And
Worst case happened.
the worst case happened, right? So then it was for me like, okay, which do I pick? Do I go back or what? And one thing was, having lived 6 years abroad, I felt, okay, now I need kind of a new adventure. I've never lived in the north. Delhi and Gurgaon in my mind, Gaon. It has the second part, so I thought it must be some village. But cool, there is a nice tech park looking place where Masters Union is located. Maybe that part is nice. Little did I know that like this is one first world city in a country like ours. I don't want to right? So then I thought, okay, hey, I don't speak the language, I don't know the people, the culture is different. Let's give it a try.
Yeah.
And then there I was.
But no, like, not once did this thought pass. I mean, like, the fact that we would start up or we would build something together, that was not even part of the agenda. Or
For sure.
like,
So since you already, like most people, right, they try to do like an education, whatever, to get a leg into some industry they're working in. But you guys already had it all, right?
Yeah.
And then you chose to go to Masters Union to maybe work in a different industry or just F&B in general.
I know, you want to answer that?
Yeah, as in we tried something else. In fact, the first few challenges of MU, like we had the Outclass challenge where we had to start a dropshipping business and then content creation and all of that. We decided to consciously work with other people in the first few terms. Then we decided no. Then we came back to working amongst ourselves. The first business we were building is actually not in food. We were building a space, like a tech business.
AI and tech was
Oh,
like
yeah, it's
buzzword,
hot,
like,
it
why
still
would
is.
you
And
not
then
like-
we like, no, let's just come back to food. That's what we
Stick
know
to it.
best.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's why we burnt our fingers.
Oh, yeah. And it's easier to do business with people, you know. We wanted to expand our horizons. So Masters Union has 200
Yeah.
people from different, like, you know, parts of India doing cool things. So we're like, okay, like, we might just find better talent out there. But then we realized it's just easier to say no to something,
Yeah.
you know, like to talk money, to talk
Yeah,
decisions
it's
with
easier.
people, you know, it's way easier. So then we just all about just
Yeah.
work together.
Like say, especially because they're like, you know, when it's three people coming together, you need the same sort of, at least some place you can like look back on and some familiarity when you go down this entire route. But when you were like with Masters Union and the sort of crazy, insane talent that it hosts, did you guys have help with like branding and this and that from like other people, or did you guys have to do everything yourselves?
I think we had help in terms of network and access to people, but I think in terms, like in hindsight, in terms of a team, we were perfect in the sense that he has worked in kitchens. He was working on product. I had like this inclination towards brand and design, all of that. I used to see operations guy. We also had Naveen who had worked in Zomato for 5-6 years. So since we were doing cloud kitchen and since we were doing delivery first, he had some amazing insights that sort of helped us.
Yeah.
It's like the dream team, right?
So for us, what helped most is one, the people we got to meet through Masters Union, and then the second would be a platform where we can just scream to people and say, "Hey, we're doing this. We need help." And either they'll place orders from us or they'll come and give us some connects or the other that can help with the business.
Yeah.
One of our first reels that went viral was because of Masters Union. So, like, Pratham, the founder, had done a reel with Ganesh Prasad, the Think School guy, and he had mentioned about his favorite sandwich, then the chili burrata.
Yeah.
And overnight, like, I remember that day vividly, it was at the 16th of June 2025. And we were having an average day in the kitchen, and then I came back home and suddenly my staff is calling, "Sir, there's a lot of orders happening, something is weird." Went to the kitchen, I remember he was like, "Alex, can you go to the kitchen? I'm at the gym or something." And then I went to the kitchen, it was busy unusually. We went back home that evening, next day morning, we're coming fucking 100 pre-orders.
Oh, shit.
And
The
shit just
outlet
blew up.
opens and like back-to-back chaos, like, okay.
We've never imagined something like that. So, Yeah.
worked and how, and sometimes it just takes that little spark to like fuel the fire, right? Like it's so
100%.
important.
It's the first bite that matters the most, right? And this boost helped with that because a lot of people had their first bite,
Yeah.
and then after that, the food should do the trick. Well, if they like it, they'll come
Yeah.
back. Yeah.
I mean, it's always that first thing. I remember the first person who came and lit the spark for us was someone called Shreya. She's now chilling in Paris, right? But she was the one, she put out this reel, and what meant so much to me was that she told me, I'm going to post this, and I have no backing in like social media, content creation, nothing. But I'm going to post another video and another video till you guys make it. And I was like, that is so special. And overnight, that video freaking blew up. And then after like 2-3 days, one more person, and everything was just like hitting a million, and we could like you can't handle it.
Before
Like,
you knew it, you were having queues through gallery. Yeah.
no, dude, it
also
was.
did really well because of yours.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but it's just that you're trying to like figure it out, right? Because you don't know what to do. You're making like stupid decisions on the fly. But I mean, I hope like your backgrounds and everything with like how to expand, because I think you've done it like brilliantly so far. Cloud and lean, right?
Yeah.
That's been a conscious decision from the beginning, or?
So budget was the first constraint why we chose cloud. Right?
Same.
Like we started Lexi's with our own money, and then the easiest way to get into it was cloud, low capex
And how much
all
did it
that.
cost to do the cloud kitchen?
Back then, I think what
12 lakhs.
12 lakhs
12
12
lakhs for a
lakhs?
cloud kitchen.
Yeah.
But now our Delhi store is becoming a diner.
diner.
You know how much we opened Galleria with? 12 lakhs.
Oh,
Yeah, hectic. But as a small cloud, right?
Just
No,
the initial
the
space,
takeover,
The
right?
first store space, that was 12 lakhs.
Yeah.
It was insane.
Like,
But then you
how much did you spend on rent?
1.3.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Not
We're
bad.
actually in some
Yeah,
corner.
it was at the back side of the market where no one cared
Ah.
about, right? That was the only place we could afford. Like, why am I bullshitting? Right? Like,
Yeah.
it's not like we are like, oh, we want to be in the best. We wanted to be in the best market, but like somewhere
Makes
there.
sense, makes sense.
And obviously, like a clean part of Galleria, but obviously it's also changed so much, right?
Absolutely.
The whole market.
There's a lot more high street brands there, and yeah, now it must be cutthroat. for sure.
Yeah, it is. But like when you guys were like doing like your first sandwich ever, like when did you realize, okay, this is gonna be freaking good? Like what was like the process? Where, like I've tasted this, I feel like it's gonna hit.
It took us 6 months to get there.
Really?
The first menu which we did, we were like, no, it's not hitting the spot. And we kept it a lot of iterations.
Scrapped
We would-
everything. Yeah.
We would only try our food after it's traveled for at least 30 minutes, 40 minutes, have it after an hour and see if it's actually staying crispy, crunchy, all of that. And then we would tweak further things. So yeah, it took us a while. But yeah, once we got there, we're like, okay, this goes on the menu now.
Yeah.
Just to build on what he said, right? Like the first few months before Lexi's even was Lexi's, we did extensive R&D in the sense that we would reach out to second degree, third degree friends. Like if I knew Amit, I would say, Amit, I want you to tell me one person who would order from Burgerama, Nomad Pizza, or like similar brands,
Yeah.
and then who are willing to spend that much money and would indulge in these foods a few times a month.
Yeah.
And you would recommend that person. So I should know that person. That's the first criteria. And then the second criteria is they should eat that kind of good food. And then third criteria is they should be willing to pay that. So we used to do paid trials with them. They would pay 300 and something rupees for that, and they were taking a bet on us. They would give us very critical feedback. We were particular, we would not give it to friends because friends will tell you best sandwich on earth, launch it yesterday.
You guys have nice friends, dude. Mine may get
So we
this-
were conscious about that. So to not go that route, we did multiple rounds of
yeah.
trials with these customers, and often we would send back the same version, same sandwich of a different iteration based on their feedback, and then get feedback.
Oh wow.
And everything, single one was paid. So the thing is, when you pay for it, you feel the pinch, and you're not then being overcritical to sound like you're some Anthony Bourdain food critic,
Yeah.
or you're not being too encouraging, saying they're best sandwich.
Best thing ever.
So you'll be honest.
Yeah.
And we gathered this, and that is when we realized, okay, now we've got a bunch of sandwiches that people in this region want to eat and are willing to pay premium price for.
Mm.
So that is kind of how we figured, okay.
And got started.
And probably one of our first favorite sandwiches would have been the grilled chicken and bacon.
Yeah.
He was a bacon buggler, so he kept saying we should have something with bacon, we should have something with bacon. And then I was on the other end like, bacon, I don't know if everybody will be eating bacon.
And guess what? It's our best seller.
Yeah. Oh shit. Yeah. No, but bacon is you need bacon to
Yeah,
make sandwiches.
absolutely.
It's mad. But how did you guys do the bread?
Bread.
How did you pick this one of all of them?
So we saw you guys do chachata.
Yeah.
And then we tried our own versions of it. We had some issues with it in the sense like we were thinking, okay, if we're delivering it, it's becoming chewy.
Yeah.
And
Very dry
it
also.
dried out
Got
quick
it.
and all. We did our own, we had multiple suppliers supplying it to us and we figured, okay, fuck it, let's scrap that. And then we thought ciabatta is a great bread. Nobody was doing a sandwich in that back then. But soon enough, we also realized ciabatta is not lasting as well in delivering because it's like a sour style bread and it is chewy and it's got the flavor that a lot of people here are not familiar with. So we worked closely with our baker. We developed our own ciabatta, which is a little softer. It's not as crusty. It'll be perfect to bite even after an hour and so on. So we were conscious on working with breads which are delivery friendly.
Yeah.
And we thought, okay, ciabatta is something people haven't done. The form is great because subs as a category was huge on aggregate Swiggy and Zomato. So for us, it was a double whammy. One, we have a great form and one, we have a new bread. And then the rest was a bet.
We used to, for like with Sketchata right now, no one had really, or at least I didn't know of anyone who's done Sketchata before. So I used to see this brand in Italy, Alentico Vinaio, doing it, and they used to be these massive, cutting these loaves and everything, right? And I told Sid, who was our chef at the time, and his sister was on her honeymoon in Italy, and he got her to freeze it and bring it back. And then he did trials, multiple iterations. I mean, I loved everything about that bread. The only problem is that you do it authentically on one hand, and it tastes horrible eventually, and then you sort of bastardize it a little bit, and then it gets a lot better. It travels better, but eventually that whole process of figuring it out wasn't so easy when you have like a 3-hour waiting. No, you can't. When you're gonna do R&D at that time, it's just too little, too late. But bread is a very important part of
100%,
it, and it's cool you guys have stuck to that one SKU and not brought in like 5 other breads, because then wastage and everything is
so tempting. Like I wanted to do a grilled cheese and sourdough, like it's a sandwich menu. You don't have a grilled cheese, but we realized that that does not work in 30 minutes in, and it's like
and then it gets like all congealed and all of that.
We based it as a negative term, but then we used a lot of sourdough from multiple suppliers, figuring out if they can do a good version. I mean, the bread's good. It's not the bread or the baker to blame. It's just not the
right move.
Yeah, it just didn't make sense. And even now we think, okay, what other bread can we add? But we're very conscious, like we don't want to bring too many breads and dilute it as well.
Just have your heroes. But like, I mean, obviously when now you guys are on Swiggy and Zomato, right? And I'm sure like from these aggregators, they give you like these weird tips. Like you have a POC and they'll whisper in your ear, oh, you need to do this, you need to do that. They give you a lot of like fuck all advice, right? But sometimes most of the time they tell you, increase your product range. Now, I've heard this about you guys needing to increase your product range from Zomato, right? Cut that. But like how do you take that feedback and then, obviously process it? Because, on one hand, you might need to do it, but then also how do you do it, right? How have you guys stayed so like on point?
So we obviously we keep having our weekly meetings with them, monthly check-ins, and they obviously say what they have to. They're looking after their P&L, we are looking after us. So we just do what's right for the business, and we hear everything and then filter the noise and act accordingly.
But a core philosophy is that when the customer is ordering, you don't give them what is it? Load.
Too many options.
If you notice our menu, it's there's an option for everybody who wants a certain type of protein or certain type of veg. There's a potato, there is paneer, and there is a burrata, a mushroom, and so on. One of each. And then the same in chicken, because chicken is the primary protein choice. I think we have around 4 chicken sandwiches. And then 1 mutton, 2 pork, and 1 buffalo tenderloin. and it is conscious. We don't want to bring so much that at some point the customer is like, "Yaar, kya order karna hai aaj? Fuck it, let me just go to some other brand and order."
And our names are also simple. Like our grilled chicken bacon sandwich is grilled chicken and bacon.
Yeah,
our guts of chicken, like
that's
no fry me to the moon.
Hey. Shots fired. Listen. Okay, when you now.
As in, it just helps with the keyword optimization. That was the point. No.
Now you guys wouldn't know this, but when you have a store, right, and you need to like have a menu and all of these things, and people read names, you don't want like basic things. You want to like stand out in such a competitive market, but the game completely flips when it's like an online
kitchen. Then this was our
because they have run a bar, they know how a diner works. Like when a customer who's coming in eating, they expect a certain experience. You want to bring a certain curiosity with the names where the customer is talking to the waiter or whoever, right? That is the point of engagement. So from that learning, we kind of figured, okay, when we're starting a cloud business, the customer journey is the opposite. They don't have anybody telling them what is a good sandwich, what is not. They are alone on this journey. And they have to figure out with that name and that simple description.
Naveen's early insight was to have burgers on our menu, and we were against. We were like, why we're a sandwich brand? Like we're against burgers. We're competing with burgers, but we just have 2 or 3 burgers right now, just so that if someone's looking for burgers, then they can pick chance upon us. So
it's the semantics are so different, because right before I did Cactus Lily, right, while obviously we were envisioning it and trying to bring it to life, I was working for this super fancy restaurant in Singapore, and over there it was like Michelin stars, so you have to like be all uppity and everything. And I realized whatever we would do to the customers, right, like when we would serve them, it was all a dance, and we used to explain to them the thought process behind the dish, this and that, right? So I brought that mentality to Cactus Lily, right? And I told everyone, like, listen, this is the briefing. We'll have these names like Sunday Roast, and then you're going to tell them the idea behind the sandwich and stuff. And week 1, it was amazing, right? Because people are like, oh, really? Like they pretend to care, right? And then you tell them everything. When you talk to the customers, they keep coming back, right? Because they have that bond with you. Week 1, week 2, week 3. When we had that line, it's like, just shut up and give me my sandwich. Like, I don't want any gyan, just give it to me, right? But so important. But my next question. You guys do this, 6 days a week? You open 7 days a week now?
7 days a week.
All days.
All days a week, right?
It was the first 6 months, I think we were shutting 1 day off, but then we realized to rotate. Once we had a big enough team, then
you managed to like figure it out. I remember I was talking to you back in December last year, and I was like, do you guys want to do something together, this and that? You're like, we're all going on vacation. How, like, and this was, I think you guys had already like blown up by then, right? And how easy or hard is it to like in the midst of everything just pull yourselves and say, no, we need to take like a break, we need to go home for a few days maybe?
I think he was giving you an excuse.
Hey, no, I remember Christmas for me, and for you it's the busiest time of the year is Christmas.
We go home because our bar is busy, so December.
I think a lot of that is right from day one. Ayush was very anal on one thing, right? Like you shouldn't be there in the outlet always. Your job is to oversee what systems you've set. And
classic ops guy.
I come from, so he has a, like, he's not an employee kind of person. He's an owner kind of person. My past was in operating for someone. So that mindset of, build a team who will take care of it was drilled in right from day one. And we've nurtured a team which we can trust. Like we have a head chef and then a few other people. They know their job. It's a well-oiled system by then. And they will know, okay, ordering needs to be done. There needs to be enough inventory for all of these things. This is the prep plan, make that. And what needs to be prepared before shift starts and so on and so forth. They have their own systems. And that's what gives us freedom to get out of the city once in a while.
And just live.
And every time something big is happening, like an event or a bulk order, if you're going to be there, then they're going to be dependent on you. They'll be like, okay, sir will come.
That is very true.
So that way we just go in like after everything's almost done and just to check if everything. They are also now they can. Now we know that they can do it. So next time we don't have to be there.
From day one, the idea was to always scale, right? The cloud kitchen was just to get product market fit, but the idea was to make enough money for all founders to take home. So we always thought of things from that lens. Right? They should work even for a Delhi or Bangalore. Bombay.
I learned it the hard way with Melvis. So initially I was very hands-on involved, and then I realized how, because I had 2 months to leave Pondi and come to Masters Union. and then I had to do all of that. So then
Full
I'm like
handover.
from the starting stages only, let's like get the staff
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
handle it.
Because it's this weird notion that you always think that they'll never be able to do it without you. 99% of the time they're able to do it better without you, right? But the only problem is that you don't want them cutting corners and everything. But eventually, I think when you let them like go through these bouts of like crazy onslaught of orders and things like that, and they figure it out without you, that gives them the most amount of confidence. But if you're there holding their hand every time, it's just you have to
But
take
they'll
that
come
plunge.
up with their own Jugaad
Yeah.
solutions, and they will think on their feet because they are doing that day in day out. They know what works better also.
Yeah.
They may not do like if we are involved, maybe it will be like a perfect job 10 on 10, but you can't strive for 10 on 10. Even 9 on 10 is good enough if you are not
Yeah.
there, right? Because
It's good enough, right? And I mean, the notion that you can always be there and everything, it just falls, especially like if you've built it to scale. How are you going to be in 3 places at
For
once?
that,
Right?
they do need monitoring for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
No, they do because
Yeah,
So
CCTV.
monkey group, SOPs,
Yeah.
a head chef with like high ownership
Yeah.
and everything. So all of those things also.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
highly
sure.
right.
systems are in place, but you have to keep checking from your end. I mean,
Like camera, half the time Ayush doesn't watch TV, he watches CCTV. He watches CCTV.
I would argue it's way more entertaining.
Yeah, sometimes actually
It's actually entertaining.
In the middle of the like, look, stuff.
Would be carrying a whole like this boxes, huge pile of boxes 4 into 4 like this, trying to transport it carefully without dropping it from one place to another. It's hilarious.
They're having challenges like if you drop it, $100 you go, and they're doing all that. And then I'm seeing this on camera and sharing.
But with all of this in place, what are the craziest like screw up stories that you guys have had at Lexi's?
Screw up stories.
Because I know starting a sandwich shop and working in a place which is where you're not from is not going to be a bed of roses.
A lot of downs.
I mean, screw ups, things happen every day. We screw
Kitchen
up.
disasters.
Kitchen disasters happen. I mean, selecting a good kitchen, for instance. We started out in I don't want to name the place. We started out in a certain a kitchen premises, our first outlet. And we were quite desperate to set up an outlet. And we were keen that, we don't want to spend a lot of money in silver, this, that, plug and play kind of situation. We found a nice place that we can do that. And I think eventually we kind of realized this person was kind of taking us on a ride in terms of the commercials, right? From the electricity and the utilities and so on. And we noticed month on month, like, why are your electricity going so high, whereas your usage is so less?
Yeah.
And stuff like that.
This
And
was in the initial stage when we were just doing R&D. For 6 months, we had rented this small 100 square feet kitchen where we were doing trials. And I remember for a month we were not even in the kitchen, like there was no usage, and our electricity bill spikes for that month, and I'm like this. There's
something
because
fishy.
otherwise I wouldn't notice.
Yeah.
But
And that's when we are in a food business. It's not a passion business. I mean, as much as people need passion to run it, it's a numbers game at the end. And
100%.
we look a little bit more harder on how the numbers are performing because of this. We don't know where this 1,000 rupees on electricity is now leaking, and are we actually using it for electricity or whatever it is. So we start looking a little deeper into the numbers, because at the end of the day, we want to build something profitable which we can take some money out of eventually. So we had this certain trust in the people here, saying that, okay, nobody would be taking you on a ride. People would be honest business people.
Yeah.
But I think you learn that
You learn,
everybody
yeah.
is in it for themselves.
Yeah, it's
we're very used to people from the south, so
listen.
Like, now that you talk about this, I think one thing that's a major pain in the ass is hiring, and Ayush goes through this quite a lot.
yeah,
Like,
getting staff for the longest we've been wanting to open late night, and every time we do that, then we have staff shortages, and we just have to come back to our usual timing. But so this one funny story. This chef actually rejected us because we only do sandwiches. He's like, why can't you all do pizza, burger, pasta? Like, सिर्फ sandwich करेंगे? It's like, नहीं, फिर तो मैं नहीं आऊँगा.
say it exactly how he said it. सिर्फ sandwich खिलाते
सिर्फ
हैं.
sandwich? नहीं, ठीक है, छोड़ दो. Something like that.
So like hiring a decent team member is hard,
It's
right?
super
I remember
hard.
when we were looking for our head chef. This was when we started a year and a half ago. We had numerous trials with at least 50 profiles, some would call and tell you, sir, aaj 2 baje aayenge. But then 2 baje, nobody will be there. Cricket noises.
Yeah.
And then after that, you'll call the guy. He'll be like, sir, I've not left. I have a shift now.
Yeah.
And then some people will say they'll come and they'll not.
They'll
even
never, yeah.
do
Most
anything.
people do that.
It's-
So now I used to, at the same time, I'll schedule at least 3-4 candidates.
Yeah.
At least one shows up.
One
now.
show. That's the thing, because like even leaving your existing job and coming, but I mean things must be different now that you have a brand, no? But back in the day, I remember the first hire. So we used to go around asking people like, hey, do you know anyone? Do you know? Because how else? Because none of these other pages were working. Nothing was working. I remember this one chef. Okay, it's the name of the restaurant. It sounds like Alsa, but he was there and just manning his section and all that. And he was sitting outside having a smoke and everything. And I was like, chef, can you help me? Do you know anyone who's willing to work this? And he's like, what's this? By that time, he had already opened in Galleria, and he was like, when you become big, then we'll talk. I'll come there.
Oh.
And I was like, wow, bro, you're already big, man. Like fucking hell. But then I remember 2-3 months in, he came. He came, pitched us and asked us for a job, and our head chef at that time, he was completely whack in the head. He was like, you're not going to fit in our kitchen right now. Like, you're not going to fit in the kitchen. He's like, there's no space. It's too high pressure. He said, it's not going to work. He's like, you go back to Alsa. Yeah.
Like, we try to protect our team's overall working condition a little bit because we have a certain way, like our head chef and us, we have a certain way of how culture, you call it, with which we treat our team. There's a lot of trust involved. If people make a mistake, we want you to polish
beat them.
them. No, initially they come with that mindset, right? A lot of them come from abusive owners. So they are used to hiding stuff from you the moment they fuck up.
Yeah.
But like something you have to make them unlearn is if they fuck up, their first duty is to call and tell, sir, I fucked up. This is what the situation is. This order went to this idiot because I did this.
Yeah.
Tell me truthfully, because then we can figure it out.
Yeah.
You slowly change this mindset. We learned soon enough when we hired certain people. Yuvraj, we hired a guy. We hired somebody for dispatch who had this compulsive requirement to cover his ass if he made it.
Yeah.
Made a mistake.
Yeah.
And soon enough, he himself realized like he can't fit in a team which is already functioning with a certain mindset. And if he's like this, every other team member will not make him feel as team-ish, or what do you say, like a colleague.
He would confidently pack an order. It would be a katsu chicken. He'll put a katsu paneer or the other way around. And he's like, हाँ sir, सही है, आप check कर लो. Like confidently, even though he knows it's wrong, and he purposely said. Then once I actually check, I'm like,
Oh shit!
क्या कर रहे थे?
Dude, but you need to break that sort of culture, right?
100%, and that's where like one, the team itself protects it to an extent, and two, like once these people realize okay they probably don't belong in such a team, then they'll itself churn themselves out. And if needed, thankfully at least so far we've not had to. Probably one guy we had to kick out. What is his? I forgot his name also because he was one abusive piece of shit. But then you just have to.
He was the guy who was licking stickers.
No,
Not
thankfully not.
Yeah. So there are a couple of like, when we used to have on our team, right, you're pulling people from all sorts of restaurants, different places. I've realized like this sort of things people are forced to do, right? Like on one end, you want to ensure like no wastage and everything because you guys are focused on numbers. But there were also people who've like we've seen like randomly I'd walk into the kitchen and I'd find like a fully fried piece of chicken kept on a shelf. Right? Because they're so scared to eat because they feel like there'll be, some repercussion or whatever. I'm like, dude, just all I ask of you, punch a KOT, eat it, it will be NC. Like, what am I going to screw your happiness for eating an extra piece of chicken? Like, what's the point? But do you guys have a system that, okay, fine, you guys get these many sandwiches a week if you choose to use it, or what? Like, how does it work for you?
50% off.
50% off if they think, but then there's always a lot of trials and stuff. And if they want to eat, they also punch NC. They keep trying the food, so like not like they're
Because
like
they are making the food, it is very required that they taste the food, and we don't see 50% off is if what they say that I want to take a sandwich for my wife.
Yeah.
Go ahead, pay 50% off. Take it. Otherwise, if you're in the kitchen, you're making stuff, you have to because that is part of your job.
Yeah.
And so that way we don't.
Yeah.
In fact, I was thinking, 3 of our staff are ex-Cactus Lily while Cactus Lily was still there. Mayank, does that name sound a ring?
Yeah. He told. So Mayank went on a long vacation and never came back.
Yeah,
So,
that's where he is.
Seaman and one more guy. 3 of them. Wow, workhorses. They know what they're doing. For sure.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for training them.
Oh my God, you guys are the worst.
Made our life easier.
You know, these, especially Mayank, okay, like one thing you guys have to know about Mayank, you guys were just speaking about honesty and everything. Mayank is a little too honest. Okay, he's a little too freaking honest. Okay, I remember our first Delhi summer. Now people say, oh, Chennai is hot, Chennai. Move to Delhi, right? We had this kitchen, okay, where it was so bloody hot, and we had like 15 guys just next to each other, just churning out sandwiches. It was insane. And Mayank comes to me, okay, and he's like, sir, I need to go for 15 minutes. I'm like, 15 minutes? Are you having like a long smoke or a short break? Like, what is happening? And he's like, my underwear is fully wet. And I'm like, bro, what the hell? And he's there. Then after 2 weeks, he's like, sir, I'm having rash. I'm like, why? I don't want to know. I've not eaten breakfast. I've not had lunch. You've made me lose my appetite for dinner. So what we would do is these boys would bring these sort of problems to us, and we used to just go down to Mangalam, buy like bags of antifungal powder, creams. These are just distribute. Because you don't want someone telling. And by the way, we used to be there all the time in the store. So you're interacting with customers, and he's whispering loudly in your ear, right? Like it's very jarring. But yeah, Mayank's a sweetheart.
Heads are
Delhi outlet. Honest guy, and that we love. A little too honest.
Who heads the Delhi?
Mayank.
Okay, good.
Yesterday he called me and he's like, सर ये पुलिस वाला आ गए महीने में 4 बार आ गया मैं तो 3 बार ही देता हूँ मैं बोल दिया ब्रेड का शॉर्टेज है आज नहीं आऊँगा अब कल आ जाऊँगा भाई खिला देगा
but you need a good team, and that's the only way you guys can scale. But what's next for Lexi's? What's happening? Any cool insights?
We've got a diner coming up in hopefully 30-40 days.
Oh wow! Would that be Gurgaon or Delhi? Delhi. Oh.
So our Delhi outlet, which is now a cloud kitchen, we have another 400 square feet which is undeveloped. So we're making that into like a 15-seater or 10-seater where people can come, sit, eat, enjoy the whole Lexi's vibe.
That's fun, dude. That's mad.
And another boring fun update is that we also have a central kitchen now.
Oh wow, that's not boring at all. That's freaking cool.
It's fun.
Hub and spoke system.
Yeah. So that we just set up and it's not fully set, it's 70% set. We still need some money for the equipment.
Yeah. Just
at least now our staff have a space to work because initially the Gurgaon outlet was serving as central plus the outlet and it got
15
we didn't want the rash situation.
Like 15 people working in a very cramped kitchen. Our main Gurgaon outlet was also the central kitchen for the longest time. But then soon enough we figured we need a
antifungal powder.
Yes, sir.
Yes. But it's really cool. You guys collaborate with a lot of cool people. Like, what's the coolest collaboration you guys have done?
Coolest collab. We do a lot of events. I think the NBA event was nice. India Cocktail.
Oh shit, yeah.
But the takeover with Stranger was nice. It was a fun experience. More for us.
One of my favorites, absolutely.
We recently also collabed with Master Chow this.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
That was a lot of fun. Even the sandwich that we saw.
The whole shoot itself was fun. With one of the co-founders, he had come to our kitchen. I had made him dredge a chicken patty and make the sandwich. And like the whole team was just amazing.
Fun people.
Alex almost won an Oscar. He was thinking of changing his career.
He's the talent. He's the talent now. Yeah.